Welcome back. Sparks fly between Vivek Ramaswamy and Nikki Haley at the third Republican presidential debate last night in Miami. The candidates clashing over foreign policy, TikTok, even some high-heel shoes. Watch.
Do you want a leader from a different generation who's going to put this country first? Or do you want Dick Cheney in 3-inch heels?
All right, Mr.
In which case, we've got two of them on stage tonight.
They're 5-inch heels, and I don't wear them unless you can run in them. I wear heels. They're not for a fashion statement. They're for ammunition. I am telling you, Putin and President Xi are salivating at the thought that someone like that could become president. They would love to see
that. The fact of the matter is she doesn't answer
so this
the question.
Is what I
In the last debate, she made fun of me for actually joining TikTok while her own daughter was actually using the app for a long time. So you might want to take care of your family first.
Leave my daughter out of your voice.
Your adult daughter.
You're just
the easy answer.
Joining me right now, the woman herself, 2024 presidential candidate, a former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, and former South Carolina governor, Nikki Haley. Ambassador, Governor, good to see you. Thanks very much for being here.
Great to be with you, Maria. Thank you.
How would you assess that debate? How do you think it went?
I think it was good to talk about real serious issues. So I appreciated the fact that we were given a little bit more time to answer the questions. I appreciated the fact that it was real substance. We got to talk about issues from foreign policy to the economy. And, you know, that's what we want. We want the American people to know that, look, there's never been a time where it's more urgent that America get this right. And it's not just about the primary. Everybody's talking about the primary now. It's who can beat Joe Biden and who can beat any Democrat that goes there. And you can tell from the momentum that we have. But more than that, look at the polls. We crushed Joe Biden in a general election. And this is about making sure we don't have a President Kamala Harris. And so we're going to continue working hard. We're going to continue to get our message out because we have a country to save.
Yeah, and you were not afraid to take on the issue of abortion. And Nikki, I want to ask you about that because it seems like abortion is the issue that the GOP continues to struggle with. And it was front and center in the elections of this week on Tuesday night, where the Democrats had a much better night. Talk to us about that. What is the messaging that should be appropriate for this issue?
Well, you know, I've said I'm unapologetically pro-life, but not because the Republican Party tells me to be. My husband was adopted. I had trouble having both of my children, so I'm surrounded by blessings. But look at what's happening. You've got the Democrats scaring women over abortion, and you've got Republicans not being honest and realistic with women on abortion. We need to be honest. The only way a federal law is going to get passed is if you have 60 Senate votes. We haven't had 60 Senate votes in over 100 years. We might have 45 pro-life senators. You know, there was a good wrong that turned right when the unelected justices put it in the hands of the people. But now let's talk about this in a personal way. Stop demonizing the issue, and let's talk about how we bring people together. The goal should be, how do we save as many babies as we can and support as many moms as we can? And let's do it based on consensus. Let the states decide where they are. But when it comes to a federal law, let's understand that this is personal for every woman and man in America and treat it that way.
Yeah, it's a great point. You also were very communicative and practical on the Israeli issue and this attack that the country is facing. The Biden administration conducted an airstrike on a weapons facility used by Iran's Revolutionary Guard in Syria. This, of course, in response to now 42 attacks on U.S. troops in Iraq and Syria, all happening in less than a month. Ambassador, you spoke last night during the debate. We want to play that and then get your take on the right response for all of these attacks on our troops. Watch this.
The idea that our men and women could be targeted and that we've allowed almost 100 hits to happen under Biden's watch is unthinkable. We need to understand this is Iran giving the green light, telling them what to do, and we shouldn't be doing the tit for tat like what Joe Biden has done. We need to go and take out their infrastructure that they are using to make those strikes with so they can never do it again. Iran responds to strength. What we don't need is Biden falling all over himself to get back in the Iran deal, him giving $6 billion to get 5 hostages home.
Ambassador, let's face it, this administration has been weak on Iran. They've been trying to get back into that deal from day one. And now we're not responding very much to these attacks. What should be done?
Well, and I'll tell you, as a military wife whose husband is deployed, who's in an area that's very sensitive, it's infuriating that our men and women are even being put in this situation. And Biden, once again, it's too little, too late. He's allowed this to happen, so Iran keeps doing it. What he's got to do is give a big punch. You go after their infrastructure, the infrastructure that they are using to do those attacks, you completely wipe it out. That's the gut hit that they need to see so that they stop. Iran always responds to strength, but they will terrorize responding to weakness. And that's what Biden has done. All he's done is appease Iran through this. Obama did the same thing. You can't deal with a culture that says death to America, death to Israel, and think that they're just going to take some please stop or let's get back into a deal together and that's going to go away. That's just not how it works. They need to start understanding that America is strong and that there's going to be a price to pay if they hurt an American soldier. And Biden is not showing that right now.
Well, he's also not showing any strength when it comes to China. And we're all wondering if he's compromised. I mean, you know, the CCP has been increasingly aggressive on America since Joe Biden took office. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is now kicking off 2 days of meetings with China's vice premier in San Francisco ahead of an expected meeting between President Biden and Xi Jinping next week. What do you want to hear out of this meeting between Xi Jinping and Joe Biden? It seems that the big issues never come up, like the cover-up of COVID-19, like the fentanyl coming into America, like the massive and consistent aggression on our flights and ships.
Well, I can tell you what he should be saying. What he should say is, we're going to end all normal trade relations with you until you stop murdering Americans by sending the fentanyl. He should say that we're no longer going to sell the Communist Party any U.S. land, and we're going to take back the land that they've already purchased. He should say that we're going to stop sending any technology to you, and he should call them out on what they've done with COVID and everything else. But the problem is, what's going to come out of that meeting is something about climate change. It's going to be something about the environment, because that's all he ever talks about. He thinks that if he finds something in common with China, that they won't be a threat to us. They are already infiltrated in this country. They have already bought the largest pork producer in our country. They've already bought 400,000 acres of land near our military bases. They've already made sure that they're sending that fentanyl across the border, and Biden's not doing anything. But Maria, what this comes down to is, it is time for a leader who is going to have foreign policy strength with our enemies and defend our allies. That is what we've got to say. And look, we have to remember, Republicans have lost the last 7 out of 8 popular votes for president. Look at the polls. I crush Biden in every poll. We have to have a new generational leader, and we can't fix the problems of the 21st century with politicians from the 20th century.
I understand that, but there's another issue that the American people care about, and that is corruption. Corruption in plain sight. I mean, right now, look what they're doing to Donald Trump in a courtroom. 4 indictments there, at the same time that we're getting increasing evidence that Joe Biden and his family have accepted money from our adversaries in an influence peddling campaign. So I ask you, if you are commander-in-chief, what are you going to do to right the ship here in terms of wiping out this corruption and ensuring that the DOJ is not covering it up?
I mean, you're going to have to completely gut, our Department of Justice and our intelligence agencies. I mean, look, the way they've treated the Bidens and the Clintons compared to the way they've treated Trump, I don't care what you think about any of them, it's wrong. There's political bias. We can see it. It's not treating all of them equally, and it's leaving America distrustful. That's what you don't want. The American people need to trust that agencies are doing their mission and that they're not playing politics. And I think that what we're seeing is a whole lot of politics. And that's why I'll replace the head of every agency. We'll go in, and where we need to clean house, we'll do it. And where we need to go and focus them back on their missions, we'll get it done. We need government to work for the people. We've got to stop this where the people are working for government.
All right, Ambassador, great to talk with you this morning. We so appreciate your time. Thank you. Nikki Haley.